So how does that work? So let us know more about the technical part of how does a membrane works, especially your membranes,
Mhm.
and yeah, essentially how do they work?
So a membrane is nothing but a filter, right? It likes certain things and it does not like certain things. So typically, as a filter, you would expect that smaller things can or smaller molecules can pass through more easily, and the bigger things get left behind. So that is one type of membrane that we offer, and that's called the size selective. So a typical application would be, say, if you have a gas stream which has some hydrogen, nitrogen, and some hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons are typically longer chain, bigger molecules. So those will not pass through the membrane as easily, and just the smaller molecules, such as the nitrogen and hydrogen, you can selectively recover. So those kind of membranes we typically would sell to a plant that, say, manufactures hydrogen, or let's say like an ammonia plant which uses hydrogen, and they want to recover some of the residual gases in like a vent stream. So it just helps with improving overall recovery. So that's
Okay.
one type of membrane we sell. Another type of membrane is just the opposite, where hydrocarbons hydrocarbons easily pass through the membrane and your lighter gases do not. So again, similar application depending on the industry. Membranes, they typically work on the main concept of pressure. The higher the pressure, the more driving force you have, and how the technical word for it is selectivity of a particular component or a compound with respect to the membrane, or in other words, how much the membrane likes the particular compound versus something else. So, say for instance, you have methane and hydrogen, and your methane to hydrogen selectivity is 10 to 1. The membrane is going to let 10 of those methane molecules pass through, and then it'll leave or let one of the hydrogen molecules go through. So, the better the selectivity, the better your separation, the better your performance.
Okay. And what is the main product or material they're made of?
Most of them are polymeric. We have also branched into ceramic based membranes, which we are using more in the cannabis industry now.
Okay, nice. And you make them by your own in the company, or do you have like let's say certain type of materials that you need to bring from abroad?
It's a little bit of both. Most of it we make in house, but there are certain things that we work with other companies to develop certain products.
Do you work on that as well, on the design?
Yes, so I do work on the design of the overall system. So sizing of the equipment, putting together the overall package, and then developing a proposal, discussing that with the clients. And given my operational background, I also go to sites to help with startup as well as running any tests.
You have a lot of let's say skills that the company got with your let's say the main asset because you work on the operations, you work at sales, you work in design. What
Hmm.
else do you work on?
I think, yeah, that covers it. I'm pretty marketable in that way.
That's great. So this is my question. Well, did you already had some knowledge on membrane theory or
No,
membrane separations?
none whatsoever.